Hey you all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy Kawa, a crochet artist from Liberia. I'm sorry I have not been posting of late because I have been busy with school, but I'm back now. Please make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Based on popular demand for my TikTok, I am making a tutorial on this top. This is the yarn that I'm using in the pin, and these are the colors combination. Let's start off by making a loop like this. Make sure to tie so you can loosen, and then start by making the total of 14 chains. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10 11 12 13 14. Now we have the chains. Let's make the first row by doing a double crochet into the second loop. Make sure to escape the first one, move to the second with a double crochet. So for this row, we are going to be doing a double crochet in each of the loops until we reach at the edge. We are in a tail loop now with a double crochet. This is what you are going to be doing until you reach to the end of this row. So you can keep doing it. I'm going to meet you at the end. I am at the end of this row. Make sure to do a double crochet in the second to the last loop as well. Now we are in the last loop. We are going to be doing 4 double crochet into this last loop. This counts as 1. We are going for the second one, then the third, and the fourth double crochet. Move to the next loop with a double crochet again. So now we are going to be going into every loop that's left on this row with a double crochet like you did for the first row. A double crochet in each of the loop until we reach at the edge. I'm going to meet you back. I am at the end of this row like I said. Make sure to do a double crochet into the second or the last loop. Then do another double crochet into the first stitch of the 2 chains you did. We are doing this in order for the upper part to be in a very straight line, because we don't want to have one line up and one line down in a zigzag way. Then take a chain of 2, turn around, and let's begin row 2. Row 2 is the same step. You are doing a double crochet in each of the loops until you reach to where you did the 4 double crochets and do 2 double crochets in each of those loops. So I am at the place I did the 4 double crochets. I'm doing 2 in each. 2. I'm going again. 1 2. I'm going to the tail loop. 1 2. I'm going to the 4th. 1 and 2 into the 5th. 1 and 2 into the 6th row, the 6th loop, sorry. 1 1 and 2 into the 7th. 1 and 2. Now you see your work should look like this for the tail row. The down part should be more like a U, and now you can continue in the rest of the loops with just a double crochet until you reach at the edge again. I'm going to meet you there. I I am at the end of this third row. Make sure that every time you reach this end, you are going to do a double crochet into the last loop, into or a double crochet into the first stitch of the 2 chains that you did when you were turning around. Now again, you chain 2 and go in with a double crochet into the first loop. So this is the 4th row. For the 4th row, you are basically going in all of the loops with a double crochet. So on leg row 1, row 2, and row 3, where you did two double crochets at the bottom, you are no longer doing that. For row 4, it's just a normal regular double crochets in each of the loops. So you can keep doing this. I will meet you at the end of row 4. I am at the end of row 4. I am starting with row 5, and you are going to be doing the same thing we did for row 4. Chain 2 and start off in the first loop with a double crochet, and do the rest of the loops with a double crochet in each. So that I will meet you at the end of row 5 again. I am done with row 5. Now it's time to go in with row 6. Chain 2, turn around and start off with a double crochet into the first loop. Make sure that each time you are turning around, make sure to chain 2. So this is what you are going to do until the end of row 6. So you can do more rows. For me, I am doing 6 rows because of the size of the present I'm making it for. So I'm going with 6, but you can do more than 6. It depends. Once you are done with this row, you can use the same pattern and make the other side of the bra. Now I'm done, so let's join it together. Let's start off by making chain 1, 2, and 3, and turn and make a slip stitch into the first loop of the other side of the bra. A slip stitch is like this. Do another slip stitch into the first loop, another slip stitch into the second loop, and another slip stitch into the third loop. Turn it around and do a double crochet into the middle of the chains that you created first, or double crochet 1, go in again with another double crochet into that same loop, chain 1, and a double crochet into that same loop, and another double crochet into that same loop, and making it 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets. Then to join it, escape 2 loops and do a slip stitch into the third loop. This is how your work is supposed to be. So let's continue for row 2. Row 2, you are going to make 3 slip stitches into 3 loops. That's 2, and that's 3. Then you turn around and make 1 double crochet into the middle of that center loop, and make another double crochet beginning 2, chain 1, and make 2 more double crochets. So for each of the times that you will reach to this middle part, you are going to repeat the same process. Then escape 2 loops and do a slip stitch into the third one, and do 3 slip stitches into 3 loops. Turn around and repeat the same pattern for the middle. 2 double crochets into the loop, chain 1, and another 2 double crochets into that same loop, and escape 2 loops and do a slip stitch into the third one. This is row 3. Let's move to row 4. A slip stitch in first one, a slip stitch in the second loop, and a slip stitch into the third loop. Chain 1. For the 4th row, you are chaining 1 and do the same 2 double crochets into the center loop, chain 1 and 2 double crochet, chain 1 and slip stitch into the third loop. For row 5, we are going to slip stitch into the first loop, 1 slip stitch to the second loop, slip stitch into the tail loop, chain 1, turn around into 2 double crochets into the middle. Remember, whenever you reach here, this is the pattern for it. 2 double crochets, chain 1 in another 2 double crochets, then you chain 1 and connect it with a slip stitch into the tail loop. This is row 5. Let's go with row 6. 3 slip stitches into 3 loops, chain 2 for row 6, chain 2, 1, 2 into 2 double crochets into the loop, 1, 2, chain 1 into 2 double crochets into the same loop, 1 and 2, chain 2 again, 1, 2, escape 2 loops and do a slip stitch into the tail loop. This is what we call slip stitch, just in case you haven't understood it yet. Then do a slip stitch into 3 loops, 1, 2, 3. Turn around. This is row 7, so we are going with 3, 1, 2, 3 chains and do 2 double crochets into the loop in the center, 1, 2, chain 1 and do another 2 set of double crochets. Then do 1, 2, 3 chains and do a slip stitch into the tail loop. This is row 7. For row 8, slip stitch into 3 loops, 1, 2, 3, chain 4 for row 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, and do 2 double crochets into the center loop, 1, 2, chain 1 and do another 2 double crochets in the same loop, 2, chain 4, 2, 3, 4. So for this time around, you are no longer doing a slip stitch, but rather a double crochet into the tail loop like this. Then start off by then chain 2, escape 1 loop, go into the second loop into a double crochet, chain 2, do a double crochet into the second loop, chain 2, do a double crochet into the second loop, chain 2, do a double crochet into the second loop. Once you crochet, make sure it's at the edge. Once you reach here, make sure to do 2 double crochets as you did in the center part, right? Then chain 1 and another 2 double crochet in the same loop. And for every time you reach at this edge to turn around, make sure to chain 2 and start off with 2 double crochets into that loop. Chain 1 and go in with 2 more double crochets into that same loop. Then chain 2 again and go in the middle of the next loop with a double crochet, chain 2, the next or double crochet, chain 2, the next in the middle with a double crochet, chain 2, the next in the middle with a double crochet, chain 2, the next in the middle with a double crochet, chain 2, the next in the middle with a double crochet. Now for this part, whenever you reach in the middle, just repeat the same pattern. 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet, chain 2 and go in the middle with a double crochet like you did on the other side, chain 2 in the next loop. For this side you are going to do the same thing, escape 1 loop into a double crochet into the second one, chain 2 to a double crochet into the second loop, chain 2 to a double crochet into the second loop, chain 2 to a double crochet into the second loop, chain 2. So this is the end. Whenever you reach the end, make sure to do 2 double crochets into the same loop like this, chain 1 and do 2 double crochets again into the same loop. Make sure everything reaches the edge to chain 2 when you are turning around and do 2 double crochet into that loop, chain 1 and 2 double crochet again into the same loop, chain 2 to a double crochet in the middle of the next loop, chain 2, a double crochet into the next loop, chain 2, a double crochet into the next loop, chain 2, double crochet into the next loop, chain 2, double crochet into the next loop. The same thing, 2 chains, a double crochet into the middle. So for each time you reach, for each time you reach to this middle part, always escape the next loop and go straightly into it with a 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet again, then chain 2, escape the first one, move into the next loop with a double crochet, chain 2, chain 2 again to a double crochet into the next loop, chain 2, a double crochet in the middle of the next loop, chain 2, a double crochet in the middle of the next loop, chain 2, chain 2 and escape the next loop into the 2 double crochets, chain 1. Now you are going to be escaping the last loop before this 2 double crochet, 1 chain and 2 double crochets, in order for you to make the work to slide from up down and makes it to draw closer like this. Now you are going to chain 2, 1, 2 and turn around. Turn around, go into the first loop with 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets. I'm so sorry my hand blocked this part, but the next video is going to show you what I was doing. It's basically the same pattern. So for the rows in this row that you missed, we are going to be chaining 2, turning around, putting it into that first loop, 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets again into that same loop. Remember, this is the same pattern for this side, the center and the last side. So this is the pattern for the 2 ends in the middle. So you chain 2, you escape that first loop and go in the middle of the second loop, chain 2 and go in the middle of the next loop, chain 2 and go in the middle of the next loop, chain 2 and go in the middle of the next loop. Whenever you reach to this center part, make sure to chain 2 and escape the next loop and go directly into that place where we usually do the 2 double crochets, the 1 chain and the 2 double crochets. Chain 2, escape that first loop again and go into the second loop in the middle, chain 2, the second loop with a double crochet, chain 2, escape that loop and go in the middle with a double crochet. Two double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets into the last end. So you are going to continue with this process until you are at the last place where there is only 1 loop between each of the ends and the middle. So continue, I will meet you at that place. So this is how your work should be. As you come down, your work should be closing up. So this is the part I was talking about now. You are going to do the 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets into that first loop, chain 1, and go directly into the middle with a 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet, and chain 1 again, go into the last end with the 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. This is it. Chain 2, you turn around again and do the same 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets into that same loop. For this one, you are no longer taking any chain in between. So from there, you are going straight into the middle of the 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets. Then go directly to the last place with a 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochets. You are doing this for it to close up more. Now this is the last place. You are only doing 2 double crochets in each of these patterns. No longer chaining in between, it's just 2 double crochets in each. 1 and 2. You are done. Now it's the time for you to do a double crochet in every loop on a side for your work to look like this. For it to be like this, make sure to do a double crochet in each of the loop until you reach at the edge of that straight line. So you are going to keep doing it and I will meet you at the edge. I am done now. Once you reach this part, you are going to chain 20 to make the back of this top. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You are going to continue until up to 20. Once you have reached the 20 now, make a double crochet into the second loop of this chain I did, and then continue in rest of the loops with a double crochet in each. I am at the end. Let's do one more double crochet and do a slip stitch into the tail loop. Okay, and do slip stitch 1, slip stitch to the second loop, this slip stitch into the tail loop, I'm sorry. Now turn around with a double crochet in 3 loops. Each loop you do 1 double crochet. Once you are done with the 3 loops, you chain 2 into a double crochet again into the tail loop. Then start off by doing 3 double crochets, then chain 2 and start off with a double crochet into the tail loop, a double crochet in the next one, a double crochet, making it 2. So this is the pattern for this part. You are going to be doing 5 rows. The first one that you did with a regular double crochet, count as 1, and 4 more of this pattern to make it 5. So remember, whenever you reach at the edge, make sure to join it with a slip stitch always. So this is what I was talking about. Whenever you reach the edge, chain 2 and 2 double crochets in the stitches of the chains that you made, and whenever you see double crochet, chain 2 and jump over them, and continue with a double crochet in the chains. This is how I want, or this is what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, it should be like this. You can continue with this until you reach row 5. Make sure to do slip stitches every time you reach to connect. This is it. So you can use the same pattern for the other side, but for now, once you reach to this part, you are going to be making a slip stitch until you reach at the other edge, because we want this upper part to be smooth and straight. So you're going to be doing a slip stitch in every loop. Make sure to not do it 2 times in a loop, 1 in every loop. You can continue with it. I will meet you at this end. Once you have reached at the end, make sure to chain 20 as you did on the other side of the back. So you are basically going to repeat the same pattern you did for that side to this side. You connect it to this and go down with a double crochet in each of the stitches like this. So your work can be like this. We are done with the blouse. Let's just need to make the rope. So this is the rope that will connect the back together, the 2 pieces at the back together. So for you to make the rope is basically you making a huge number of chains. For me, I had to double the yarns because I wanted to be thick. I am done, and this is the length of the rope that I wanted. So let's put it in the back. You can start from up or down. It depends how you want it to be. For me, I'm starting from up because that's the best way I see it. So you can style it however you want, and I will meet you at the end. Now we are done with that one. The next part is to make this rope. Now is you basically doing the same thing I did for the back rope, but you just have to double the yarns about 12 times. For me, I double mine 12 times, but you can do it 14, 15. It depends how thick you want yours to be. For me, I am going with 12 because that is how I want it to be. So double it 12, make a loop, and basically make a huge number of chains to be long enough to go around. I'm gonna meet you when I'm done. So I am done. Now it's time for you to get your needle, your thread, because this part is about sewing. Make sure to use the yarn as the thread in the needle. The first thing is for you to set and measure where you want the hand to be at the back. You do the sewing first. I want you to start from the back. That way it's going to be easier. You make sure you sew it well so that you won't have to loosen when you are wearing it. So I will meet you at the end of this. Now you are going to measure the length of your arm, because this is the hem of the top. Measure it and place it at the front of the design, and do the same sewing there, because that is where the hem stops. Make sure to sew it properly. Let's do the placement of the rope on the top like this. So if you have a stitch marker, right now is the best time to use it to like keep the rope in the position that we're putting it, so you can make a mistake while doing the sewing on the top. It's gonna be like this. Make sure you take your time and sew it exactly how we place them. use for the other end and sew